Hi, I'm Jason DePue, and I'm a partner of the Lessonface platform, teaching primarily the violin. Let's discuss perfect intervals. I like to warm up on fourths. A little scale in fourths. There's a unison with the open D string. Here's an octave. There's another unison. Yeah. I'm going to play the Fiorello Etude number 28, which is actually therapeutic for both the left hands and the right hand. Every other note is a D or an A or an E, so you're always playing in relation to that note so that you get to play in tune. So this... I'd like to discuss the easy and the difficult position and apply that to Paganini's first Caprice. So here's the difficult position, and here's the easy position. And when we apply that to Paganini's first Caprice, it starts out with the difficult position, especially that fourth finger stretching. So I'll play it through now. Now we're in the easy position. I'd like to discuss the hand in relation to harmonics. And one of the great examples is Debussy's Girl with the Flaxen Hair. So you have this... It doesn't involve a mute, so you can go over to this. And also similarly. There's also the ending of this piece of music. Yes? I'd like to go from the Debussy and briefly go over Kruetzer Etude number 32. Yeah, and you can also, if you want to be creative, practice it on the D and the A strings. The Rodney Etude number 3 is a very good example of associating that with how we walk down the street. When you walk down the street, one part of the foot is always on the ground, either your heel or the tip of your foot, but there's always something that's on the ground. Yeah, it's very similar to the left hand and the bow in relation to each other. So I really sort of zeroed in on this etude particularly because it's also in second position. So this... And similarly subject to that if we want to sort of, if you're looking for results, because many students are looking for results. We want to know, well, why am I doing this, right? Well, go from there to Bach's G minor presto, okay, and treat it the same way. Slur, connect, right? And then when you play it in context, it's I'd like to move from that to the Dounis and the Daily Dozen, which are fabulous exercises for the violin. And here's one little exercise from it, and it's a shifting exercise. So you'll see what happens, that I'm shifting from first to second to third position, and then as I move on, I shift from first to second to third to fourth position, etc. So here it is. Let's talk about the bow. Personally, I'm a big fan of the Franco-Belgian school of holding the bow. And I stress holding the bow, not gripping the bow. Which the Franco-Belgian school is basically the thumb with the two middle fingers here, balancing between the index and the pinky finger. Yeah? And you know, there's different permutations of the bow that you could explore, meaning your first and your third fingers, for instance. So many people don't realize that the third finger creates sound out of the bowels of the instrument. So from here and from here out of the instrument, rather than from here down. So you don't want to put bow pressure, you want to use bow weight, and you also want to use bow holding rather than bow gripping. So there's also other permutations, obviously, first finger and fourth finger. Beethoven's Kruetzer Sonata, number 9, where the violin starts out first. So in this case, you're going to want to start separate bows on separate notes. And you want to drop the bow. Just use the weight of your arm. Right? Then 2 notes per bow. 3 notes per bow. Then all of a sudden 4 notes. The main point here is that you understand that you can relax and you can get the bow to sort of sound in a way that gives you an ability to relax while you're playing. Everything basically involving the bow, everything derives from the string. If we were to do something like Saint-Saëns' Introduction to Rondo Capriccioso, the ending of that, I'm going to start slow with the bow. And I'm just going to show you what I do from slow to fast, okay? And you'll see that as I play faster, the bow will start to jump off the string. But first it starts on the string. So... So, overall practice suggestions. G major scale as an example. It's always wise to practice at 3 different speeds of tempi daily on either your concerto, your etude, your sonata, your scale. And the speeds would be regular, faster, and slower. So here's my regular tempo of a G major scale. Here would be faster. Right? Now here's slower. Right? Etc., etc. All right, the second thing is there's a really great approach to practicing, which is stopping from string to string and then stopping before shift to shift. All right, and then there's the other one, stopping before shifting. That is a really, really important exercise, and it's especially useful for 20th and 21st century repertoire. Working on dotted rhythms, so and also the opposite of that. In general, what I encourage students is to work at your own pace. Remember, it's easier and more enjoyable to play naturally and accept your mistakes rather than trying to play perfectly. That is very, very important. And then finally, there's a very famous line by either Rachmaninoff or Horowitz. I'm not sure which one said it, but the phrase is, once you've mastered a passage and playing it at whatever tempo you're playing it, practice it slower rather than faster. It's very important, and I can't encourage you enough to think that way, that practicing slowly is a very important element to playing the violin. I'd like to start out by the contemporary authors, and particularly speaking, the Harvey sisters. Liana and Kasia Harvey have extremely useful books that are in the style of Stradiak and Sevcik, but way more specific. Also, I can't speak glowingly enough about Roland Vamos's scale books. He wrote in his double stop books, which is ingenious, 7 different patterns. Here's one of the examples from the Vamos double stops. So I wish you all the very, very best, and salute.